Good morning to you. Today we have a quick video about one special new feature that we have in IntraPass version 602 and up. So it's also in version 603, and that's what we call virtual site. For example, we take a look, we have a lot of new feature for you available. We have, for example, now with IntraPass, you have an integration with DSC Neo. You have the possibility to use, let's go with the documentation, up to 8 reader on a KT400 controller. For example, a KT400 controller can manage 4 door, but before the version 603, you are able to manage 4 door, reader in, button out, or 2 door in and out, meaning reader in, reader out. Now, with this new version, you're able to use that same KT400 managing 4 door, no matter if each door got 2 reader or each door got 1 reader, button exit, or a mix of both. One special condition, these features require IOPOX XSF reader. Alright, so we have this possibility, we have at the intrusion level, we have Neo integration now, and so on. So we have, I recommend you to take a look at the new product announcement. This has been released in May 2015, and you will be able to see what we have new for you guys. Now, let's get back to today's topic. It's virtual site. I have an IntraPass ready to go here. Let me log in. And let's take a look. Operation, site, and connection. Empty. So it's an IntraPass blank. Install, registered, but no programming, nothing. Now, what I want to talk about today is the fact that before version 602, 603, we had, every time we create a site, which means a loop of controller, for example, here we have the IntraPass installed in the server, and we have a loop of controller. As communication device, we have a USB 485. So USB 485 connected to the computer, having the gateway, going to the first controller. And as you know, we can have up to 32 controller by loop. Here we have a loop in daisy chains, controller 1, 2, 3, and that goes up to 32. We're communicating USB 485. We could also have that situation with an IP loop. For example, here we have KTIP that's connected to the network, and we go to the first controller, and again we can go up to 32 controller. Now, in the previous version that we had, so we will be having 2 sites if we have one of those USB 485 and one of these, which an IP site over KTIP. That will be 2 sites. Now, with the new version, with version 602 and up, we'll still be having 2 loops, but we'll be calling them connection. Connection means we have one connection with no matter like 10 controller, 32 controller. We have another connection over IP, 32 controller, no matter the quantity of controller. Now, the site itself changed meaning. We call it virtual site because with that new version, we can mix and assign those 2 connections under the same site. Now, it will be easier for us to understand doing it. Okay, so let's do it. We're gonna create, first we need to confirm that we're on the same page together. We have devices, we have a component there we didn't have before. If you have a version 5, 4, 600, 601, you don't have that icon. That icon you see here, devices connection, is the same than the site you had before. Now here, the site we have here is new. This is not, doesn't have the same meaning. It's the virtual site, as we explained, and it's on special edition, it's on corporate, it's on global if you have a corporate gateway. The virtual site is available for a corporate gateway, not the global gateway. Okay, let's do it. First, let's go, we're gonna create the site. Here the site, for example, we're gonna call it demo July 2015. Save. Here we can add information, for example, the site, that could be a building or that could be a department, and we have multiple loop, so we can add information where that site is located, street, and so on. We can add those. Okay, comment. Again, we can add information also. Okay, for now, you see, connection list is empty. We're just creating the site. Of course, it's empty. There is nothing there. All right, now we're gonna go devices, connection. We're gonna create the first connection. First connection, we're gonna click on new, and of course here, if I click, you can see demo. That's the one we just create. Okay, first connection. Now the connection, you have the same screen you had before, because the connection, as I said, is the same than the site you had before in the past version. So just keep that in mind, and after you use that 1, 2, 3 times, you will remember. Okay, all right, so what type, how are we communicating? Let's say this site we have, not site, this connection, we have 3 controller here. So 3 controller, and we're communicating over USB 485, not forgetting time zone. My time zone over here, it's -5. Okay, of course, we're gonna have to set COM port. I have to install it and check the COM port, but for now, USB 485. Look. Save, and here I select the site, which is demo July. That's the site, the virtual site we just created. So now I'm assigning these connections to that site, and I say okay. All right, so I have one connection ready. I'm gonna create a second connection that will help me to be able to do live demo with you. That's gonna be a KT400 over IP. So first I go KT400 IP, time zone. Let's say this one, this KT400 is in Bogota. It's on the remote side, it's pretty far. Okay, and here I have IP device IP configuration. Of course, I have to keep moving with the KT400 programming. Let me take a look in here. I have 5519A4. It's online. I'm gonna go with this setting. Okay. Of course, it asking me now to select the site, which site I want to assign that to. So I can either select the site, or if I want to, I can create a new virtual site. Okay, so for the purpose of that quick video training, I select the same virtual site, so they both belong to the same site. Now remember, the KT400, since I'm using it over IP, it's also want to set up the controller part. So here I have, do I have door contact or WEX? Now, please, in that screen, you also have something new. We didn't have in the previous version enable exit reader. Remember, in the version 603 that I'm using now, you have something new also, which is being able to use two reader by door. Of course, the reader need to be IO blocks. So in here, if I check in here, that means this door one has two reader connected to it. Okay, the other door, I'm gonna say they are normal door. So I'm gonna have a total of 5 reader in that controller, because with the door one I have 2 and 1 reader in each of the doors. Okay, now of course I have to check and set up my KT400. Let's do it. 192.168.192. That brings me to the KT400 page. The IP of my server. Alright, DHCP I'm gonna go disable because I'm not using DHCP, and I go TCP here. Boom. Now let's get back to Kentech. Let's wait and see what's happening. Alright. So normally I should have communication already. Now let's check what's going on. I go operation site and I select the virtual site, and I have both sites, and I have gateway not connected. Aha. Remember, I'm on the corporate, and the corporate without the gateway. Forget about communication. So I come here and I start the gateway. And let's find out what's happening. Gateway starting. Okay, changing state. You can see the step over here. Alright, I have the KT400 telling me restored, and I have, oh, funny. I have the noise. Let's fix that quick. Why do I have the noise? Because my system, my doors are showing an alarm because my door contact are defined in reverse. So what I can do, I can go operation input, and I have my input. Oh, let's do that quickly, right? My input in my system are normally open, not normally closed. So fixing them will get us off that. Faster. Oh my God. All right. Sorry about that. Now, of course, it will be good to test. Now I have, for example, WEX for, let's make sure. All right, so I activate my WEX, and the WEX input react, so it's working fine. So it's not only changing the state to get rid of the noise, we need to check if everything is working fine after we have done that. All right, this is all set. Now, if I go operation site, I select the site. You can see we have two connections in it. Now, of course, I'm in operation. Let's take a look at devices so we can see how the site look like. That's the site we created before. And here we have the list of connections. So I could have multiple connections. They will all show up where you're seeing this one. All right, so now let's see what do we gain from that, from the fact that we can group virtual site. Multiple multiple things, but two major changes. For example, sometimes you're doing an installation and you end up having multiple loop because there is no way to physically run the wire from one controller to the last controller. So sometimes you could have, let's say, 10 controller in a project, and you're having two controller with a KTIP, one with a USB, another one is a KT400 over IP, stuff like that. So having multiple controller, multiple loop, but in reality, they all belong to the same site. At that time, we could not do it, so you end up with multiple sites, and you had to create, when you finish with the site. So now when you remember that when you're creating access level is done by site. So if we have multiple sites, you end up having multiple access level. But when you, in that new version, able to group multiple loop on the one side, so if it's the same logical site, so you have one access level or the access level by site. Here, let's take a look. First, we're gonna create schedule. So here, let's say manager. All right. Oops. The manager, let's say they're starting at 8:00 and they're finishing at 18:30. Monday to Friday, and 09:00 and they finish at 14 on Saturday, for example. All right. Then you have employee, I don't know, user 09:00, 17:00. An example. All right, so we go with those two schedule. Now let's take a look. User access level, and remember, access level is done by site. Now I can select the site, which is demo July 2015, and when I click on new, let's say manager, because both loop are under the same virtual site, they come up here like one group of the one. So here on the manager, all I got to do is to select the schedule. Let's say manager, and here let's say they have no window 2, and user, right? Let's say user has access to door 1. One, two, three, four, five. I'm missing something. We're missing something here. Yes, what it is? Devices, controller. We create a site which was here, but we never set up what type of site it is. It's a USB 485 loop, but we didn't set up the controller. So let's do that. KT300. This one is a KT300. We want to say the next one is a KT315. And we just move quick and get that completed. connected, and this one, let's say KT1. But the KT1 connected on USB on a 485 connection. All right. So now, sorry about that. If we go back to user access level, here we have all the door. So the one we create before manager, here we have more door. So everything come up under the virtual site, which is demo July 2015. So please be aware of that option, because if you create a site, let's say I come here, devices, connection, new, I say this one is in Trinidad, KT1. Okay, here I say secure IP KT1. I do all the setup and then I say save. And here, if you don't have this screen pop up, please let me show you where to go. Of course, let's finish this and then we'll. Alright. Now, if the screen doesn't pop up, you need to go to Option, System Parameter, Workstation, and here you can set it to mandatory. Assign a new connection to a site. You can set it up manually, or mandatory is what I have now, so it will ask you, because sometimes you forgot. And when you forgot, this loop gonna go under the gateway directly. So it will not be able, you will not be able to group it if it's already under a gateway. The only way to fix that is to delete the loop, and delete the loop means delete all the setting and everything. So first, the best thing would be to go to Option, System Parameter, Workstation, and set that to mandatory. Like that, you will not forget, because the system will make sure no forget possible. And one more thing, please be aware of, if I come here and I select the site and I delete, that's the virtual site, you have the connection there. What's going to happen? Please, all connection automatically disappear. Now, if I go to Option and there is nothing, all right. So you have to be careful with the setup. It's very powerful, helpful. Please, one, delete by mistake, and you have to do a lot of work. So in that particular, for that, not especially for that reason, but that's remind you, the backup is there. Okay, so please use it. Where do we get the backup? Option, backup scheduler, and you just click on now and it's gonna make a backup right away. We have some other video for backup and some application notes to help you further. Thank you very much for watching.